A while ago, I was speaking with someone who said, I just can't bring myself to enjoy anything I buy. Even when I have the money, I feel guilty spending money on myself. So I asked her, where do you think this comes from? She paused, then said, growing up, my father started life quite rough, and after some time, he made a lot of money. However, we still lived like we didn't have much. Anytime my mom spent money on herself or on us, the kids, my dad would yell about being wasteful, even if it was just a new pair of shoes. Now I hear his voice in my head every time I try to buy something for myself. That moment stuck with me because here was a grown woman earning a good salary, she has no debt whatsoever, and she has a reasonable amount of money in savings and investment. But she was still carrying shame every time she wanted to enjoy the fruit of her labor. And it hit me. This wasn't about budgeting, it was about beliefs, about what her mind had absorbed over the years. This is why we're starting this new series on money mindset. Because our relationship with money goes deeper than numbers. It's rooted in how we think. The Bible says in Proverbs 23, verse 7, as a man thinks in his heart, so he is. That means your thoughts aren't just floating ideas, they shape your reality. And when it comes to money, your mindset can make or break your financial peace. Think about it. Two people can earn the same income, yet one thrives while the other struggles. The difference? Mindset. What we believe about ourselves, about God, about money, they usually shape the choices we make every day. Some grew up believing that money is scarce, others were taught that wealth is evil. Some saw money being used to control, to punish, or even manipulate. And we carry these beliefs into adulthood, into our marriages, into our parenting, into our businesses. You see, the mind is like a lens, and if the lens is dirty, everything we see gets distorted. In the world of counseling, there's a powerful approach called cognitive therapy. It teaches that our thoughts influence our feelings, and our feelings influence our actions, and of course, our actions influence our results. And many of those thoughts, especially about money, are shaped by past experiences. Whether it's fear of lack, shame around spending, or guilt around success, these thoughts didn't just appear, they were shaped. Sometimes by pain, sometimes by patterns. And if we don't examine them, they become the silent drivers of our money decisions. Now let's pause here and talk about something important: trauma. It's a word that gets thrown around a lot these days, and honestly, it's beginning to sound like a buzzword. Everything is trauma now. But we need to be careful. Not every difficult experience is trauma. Sometimes what we're dealing with is a pattern of poor choices. Other times, it's simply lack of knowledge. However, trauma is real and it impacts how we live, how we love, and how we handle money. Here's a simple way to think about it. Trauma isn't just what happened, it's about how your brain and your body responded to what happened. It's when something overwhelming or painful bypasses your reasoning and gets stored deep inside. So, what's the connection to money? Well, if you grew up in a survival mode, or you saw money being used to control, to shame, or to divide, your mind remembers even if you've moved on. And without healing, those memories can shape your money behavior today. That brings us to money trauma. And yes, it's a real thing. Money trauma is when painful financial experiences shape the way you view money or even feel about money in unhealthy ways. You might be dealing with money trauma if, number one, you panic when spending, even when you can afford it. Number two, you avoid looking at your finances or making financial plans. Number three, you feel guilty when you want something for yourself. Number four, you overwork or overgive because deep down you feel like you will never be enough. And lastly, you avoid money talks in your marriage because it reminds you of fights growing up. Now, none of this behavior started from nowhere. They can often be traced back to what your mind learned during moments of fear or stress. But here's the good news: God desires freedom in every area of our lives, including our finances. Romans 12, verse 2 says, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." That means we can heal, that means we can grow. And through prayer and intentional mindset work, we can break cycles that have held us back. This series is about that healing, about your mind, your beliefs, and your heart. If this resonates with you in any way, please drop a comment, and you can also tag someone who needs to start healing their money story too. We're just getting started. See you next time.